here, and today I'm showing you how to make popsicle squishies. Yay! They are super easy to make and they're so squishy. Let's see this one. Ah! Oh, that felt good. There we are, just in time for summer. And something squishy to squish on if you're doing exams. Real quick, let me run down some of the things we're gonna need. Going to need a car washing sponge, still sealed in the plastic. This is very, very important to making this work. You're gonna need some popsicle sticks, and you're also gonna want a 4-ounce bottle of dimensional fabric paint, 3D fabric paint, known by the name brand Puffy sometimes. You're gonna do that. You'll also need some scissors, a straight edge of some sort, and you'll also want a marker. It's pretty simple. It might take some time because waiting on stuff to dry, but it is so worth it. Look at this. Now watch the slow rise. Wow, this one's really going slow. So, I'm not gonna make you wait. Ah! Sorry. I'm not gonna make you wait. Let's get this moving. So the first thing you're gonna do a lot of this first stuff, keeping the sponge inside the plastic, still sealed up inside. So the very first thing you're gonna do is try to cut it as close to in half as you can down. Ooh. So you have 2 pieces like this. Let's say that's the one side I'm using. Technically, yes, you could use the second one and make another if you get more paint. But put it aside for now. So we've got our half of a sponge here. So I'm just gonna lay that down flat. Then I'm gonna get out my straight edge and my marker. Now for right where the bottom is right here, I am just going to mark straight up from there with my straight edge. Straight up and down. Okay. Then move to the other side. Do the exact same thing. Here we go. Looks about right. And when you do actually cut this out, you're gonna wanna try to round this off the best you can. Oh, but if you don't, all right, plastic. The plastic will help you keep straight lines, so you don't have to mush it and have a bunch of jagged lines. That is very important. So I'm just gonna cut down my lines here. I'll try to kind of curve this off as I go. There we go. And just to make it easier, I'll start on this side here. And start with the curve and cut it straight down the line. Here we are. Looks like a basic popsicle shape, right? Well, now you have some choices to make. Either you're going to let this sit for hours overnight, I don't even know how long, or you're gonna get out a blow dryer. Use the coolest setting. I don't have a blow dryer, so I'm using a heat gun. I don't recommend using one because you risk burning the foam. So first thing you do is you go around the outside skinny side until that puffs up to about 1.5 1.25 inches, something like that. And then you go back and forth across the front and back of it to puff it up the rest of the way. So instead of waiting and watching me do this, I am going to do this in time lapse. Ready? Watch me. Check it out. It's all blown up. Next thing we're gonna do, get those scissors back out and turn it so the opposite of the round side, you want to turn it to this side here. So you're gonna do it so you can see it. Well, something like this. And you're gonna make sure that it's about the width of one of the popsicle sticks. And you wanna make it go as deep as you can. So I'm gonna start out, this really helps, I swear. So you have it facing you, your scissors, and all right, ready, go. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Just sinking that in. All right, so you want to keep pushing it deeper. Don't squeeze it while you're doing this, because guess what? You're gonna cut your fingers or cut your sponge in a way that you will not make it look like a popsicle. And that's important. So you're holding it in your hand, you're pushing it forward. You can squeeze a little more when your scissors get past your fingers. See, I'm feeling where it is in there. That's about how far it is. So I can hold it there. And keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward. Where are we at now? Ah, we're about there. Okay. So now when I push forward very closely, you could stop, but I'm a gambler. See, it's puckering because I got that close. Oh yeah. And if you need to stretch it wider, just make sure you're widening the scissors repeatedly there. All right. So that's done. Put them scissors away. Take your popsicle stick and cram it up there. Here we go. Oh, I could just feel it at the top, see? Here's the outline of it. All right. That's perfect. We're already most of the way done here. Except for, of course, the painting. So the best way to paint on a sponge when you're trying to turn it into a squishy toy is to use your popsicle sticks. So yep, you make sure you have one that's gonna be the handle for this. And no, there's nothing securing this in place just yet. We're gonna use paint all around it to keep it in place. So I'm just gonna take a popsicle stick, my paint here. If you're using the free kit from the library, these are neon colors. At least that's what they say. That's what it said when I bought them on Amazon. And this one appears to be a pink. It appears to be pink, but you wanna see what it dries to look like? It dries to look like this. Kind of the orangey coralish color. But that's okay, that's cool. I have to be smarter than the wrapper or else it won't come off. You are going to be super, super generous with the amount of fabric paint you use. And I'm not kidding here. So you're gonna cover this thing with as much as you can. Or there's a second thing that you can do if you wanna wait on that, you're not quite ready to start blobbing. You might notice that, of course, it's a sponge, so it's porous. Some of those bigger holes, it's probably not gonna hold up too well after you do your popsicle stick smoothing it out, because those holes are so big and deep, and it will dry kind of sunken in like a pothole in the road. So one thing you can do, I just did it right there. I take the little nozzle, I stick it down into the hole of the sponge, and slowly fill it with paint, pulling this out as I go. It's good to do this for just the really big holes like these, because those are some big honking holes there. I don't know how holes honk, but I've decided that they do when it serves my purpose. That looks pretty good. There'll probably be some other potholes that are created, but you're gonna need to do more than one layer if you want it nice and smooth. You don't have to have it nice and smooth. If you're perfectly okay with it being not smooth, have at it. So here I go. I said I was gonna be generous. This is how generous you need to be. Seriously generous. Like a lot. And this is just for the one side. There. You may think to yourself, this should be enough, but it's not enough. No, 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 no. All right, take another popsicle stick, very flat, And we're just gonna smear it without pushing down on it. It's hard to do because it looks like right here it's raised up higher. So you don't want this to happen here. You don't want the little holes to come out. What you want is more what it looks like in the center here. Don't push down on it. Be very gentle. Just skim across the top, just like you're frosting a cake. I wish I had some cake right now. Ooh. Just like a cake. Back and forth. You want to try to make it nice and smooth and shiny. Do not press it in. I'm going to say that again. I'll bet somebody's going to press it in. Are you pressing it in? Be honest. You're pressing it in, aren't you? Stop that. Okay. So you want it to be nice and smooth across as best as you can. Just kind of scrape it on those sides because the sides start to go high on this. Whether or not you have your sponge perfectly blown out. There we go. We want to do our best as we can just to have one smooth, let me try going this way. One smooth, solid layer of frosting slash paint. There we go. There we go. So that looks pretty good. Yeah, there's some stuff around the sides, but I'm gonna do some more layers to get rid of that soon. Congratulations, you have painted the first side of your popsicle. Now, you just gotta wait.
8 years later.
Okay, are you tired of waiting yet? Yeah, me too. I'm gonna show you a little cheat that I did not put in the written instructions. So, if you can find an old box, maybe one from Amazon or even a cereal box that you're not using anymore, and in a central location like this, cut a great big slit there. We're gonna use that to dry the popsicle for later. So I can take this still wet and I can keep going. So I'm gonna just do what I did before. I'm gonna fill in all the holes. Oh yeah, all the big holes anyway, not all the holes. Really, you're just gonna be doing the exact same thing on around the sides and on this side, just like we did before. Do you wanna watch me do that for a half hour? Sure, go right ahead. However, I would rather do this time lapse. I'll be back, maybe, unless I find some real popsicles. Okay, so I've got pretty much all of this thing covered, except for underneath. And yeah, it'll probably stick a little bit in this box. So let me try. When I do it, I kind of go in an angle into that hole and use this to help. There we go. Are you wondering if it's going to stick around the bottom? Yes, it's going to stick around the bottom. That's okay. You can peel it off. And if any bits of the cardboard get on there, just get some scissors and snip it off. Not a big deal. So now that I'm this far, I'm going to wait till another day. I'm gonna let this sit overnight. And by the time I come back to you, this will be completely dry. Ready? Set your clock to 24 hours. Well, maybe, in truth, maybe like 5 or 6 hours. If you're starting early in the day, that probably would be work enough too. You can come back and check on it very carefully. But remember, if you touch it and it's wet, you're gonna have to fix it. So I'll see you in the morning. Rest well.
8 years later.
Okay. And we're back. It's another day. Let's see how our popsicle is turning out. So you can see right here, I did have to rip it up since I used this cheat method. That is the downside of you being impatient. But it's okay because you can trim it off. You can see some came off, that's okay. And wherever there was anything on here before from the box, I just used some scissors and trimmed it off. So not a huge deal. But aside from that, let me put my box away. Let's see what we got here. So you can see that sponge did still take things into the paint into the holes a little bit here. And it's not completely smooth. If you think yours looks good enough, you can be dead now if you want to. But if you're a persnickety perfectionist, like I tend to be, I'm gonna add another coat, and eventually I'm also going to fill this in too, and this will help keep this in place since I didn't give you glue in your kits from the library. So I'm gonna do another coat. We will do that in time lapse. So I'm gonna paint the whole thing over again in time lapse, put it back in my box, and wait a few hours to another day and see what we got. All right, see you in a bit.
Eight years later.
Okay, so it's been a few hours. This thing is dry. Let's take a look here. So, yeah, there's a few little spots there, but I don't think that bothers me at all. It's nice and smooth. Yeah. Now, if you want to, you can totally put a few more coats on, but because I want to make sure I don't run out of this, I'm gonna work on the bottom now. So let me show you how to do that. You want to fill in any super deep holes. Then from here, I just carefully fill it in. Try to make it appear nice and smooth. I'm just trying to blend it together as I go, trying to keep everything looking uniform and not just in streaks. That's why I'm bobbing it up and down in that motion there. That helps to smooth it out. So around the stick here, just to make sure it stays in place, let's go ahead and put a lot of fabric paint right up against the stick, joining it to the sponge. See, it's not a perfect smooth surface, but this is up to you. You can certainly smooth it out with a popsicle stick if you so desire, or you can leave it like that, just as it is. Okay. So, let me see. How does that look if I smooth? This is optional. You don't have to do it, but I'm gonna do it just to see what happens, because I don't think I've tried smoothing it yet with all my other examples that I've created. Actually, that looks pretty good. And any extra that you have, go ahead and fill in some other holes or gloss it over this again just to make sure everything is smooth in its place. I'll just smooth these edges like this. All right, so now you just need to leave it sitting like this for a while. I'm gonna try to put something on either round side. So let's hold it up between a paint bottle and some Kleenex. There we are. You can even tilt it a little bit this way so it's not actually touching that. Now it won't roll away. So I'm gonna leave this to sit here for a few hours. And in my case, it's gonna be overnight because it's almost the end of my workday, but it could just be a few hours to you. So when we're back, we're gonna be completely finished. All right, see you in a few.
8 years later.
And back again. Finally, a third day. But look, it's all dried. Awesome. So here's a little closer look. Yeah, if you want to, you can go back through and try to fill those holes in a little better, but you can see this is firmly attached. And let's see, how good is our squish? All right, let's watch it rise. Oh, this one is one of those glacially slow rises. Now, if you like that, you're good to go as is. But if you're not so much into that, then you just need to get a needle or a pin, which I happen to have. All right, and you want a faster rise, I would say put some little holes in some inconspicuous areas. I try to like go right on the ridge here because that's not a place people look for holes. So there we go. I'm gonna poke holes all the way around and on either side. I just want to show you how it changes the speed of the rise by poking holes in it. See, and it's not leaving big gaping holes. I was just putting them in. You can't see them at all. So let's try squeezing it again now. Oh, I'm still feeling the resistance. But wait for it. Wait for it some more. But it looks like it is starting to come back into shape now. So, like I said, if you don't like that slow rise, you want to go faster, poke more holes in it, as many holes as you want to. And if you're not happy with the texture of this, if you have any of your paint left, paint more layers on, that's totally up to you. But I'm kind of happy with my 2 layers of paint, plus the one down here. It's got a nice smooth texture for me. I really like that. And it's bright in colors. So, that's all there is to it. That's your popsicle squishy, and I'll see you again soon. It's going to be summer programming, and I'll give you a hint. Right behind me, you might see one of the plushies that we're going to make for our summer theme, which is adventure. So that's your little spoiler. Until then, Laura Library Lady signing off. Bye, everybody. You love it, my body,